2017 CF 15684, State v. Nelson. Mr. Nelson, you're going to be sworn in.
Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Sir, please state your full name and date of birth.
Scott Edward Nelson, February 28, 1964.
All right, thank you, sir. Could counsel approach? All right, Mr. Nelson, I had asked here at the bench for your attorneys to check with you on some things that came up from yesterday and then see if that was still an issue. It's my understanding, based on conversations with your attorneys, that you did receive the medications that you were supposed to receive today. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And how are you feeling today?
Good.
All right. And my understanding was, based on your allegations and some information I learned from the state, that you didn't receive one of your medications yesterday, but today you did receive that, correct?
Yeah, yes, that's correct.
Okay. And I had asked your attorneys to bring to my attention yesterday. They said they were ready to go forward. We went forward. They told me that they were going to be in contact with you, bring to my attention if there was any issue yesterday because you didn't receive medication. They never brought that to my attention. I asked them this morning whether there was an issue. They told me there was no issue. Is that correct?
Partly correct. They moved me to a different part of the facility in order to administer the medication more conveniently for them, which I have no issue with. It's just that since then, all my other medications have been lost.
Well, I guess what I was asking about is my understanding that you didn't have any adverse effects yesterday. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
And it's my understanding that you were able to understand everything that your attorneys were communicating to you yesterday. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And it's my understanding that you were able to communicate effectively with your attorneys yesterday. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, who will be inquiring for the state as the first witness for the state? Ms. Burdick, state ready to proceed? Yes. Who's doing cross for the defense? All right, Ms. Moore, is the defense ready to proceed? Yes. Mr. Nelson, are you ready, sir?
Yes.
All right, let's please bring in the jury. Good morning, members of the jury. Good morning. Ms. Burdick, does the state acknowledge the jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Moore, defense?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Nelson?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, members of the jury, I did receive a note from the jury with some questions. Under the rules, the judge has the discretion as to whether to allow questions from the jury during the course of the trial. I make that decision, so the decision made, you should not hold that against the state or the defense attorneys or Mr. Nelson. This is my decision. My decision is in my discretion. I do not allow jurors to ask questions during the course of the trial, so your questions will not be answered. However, your PS at the bottom of your note was, can the jurors' room be cooler? I have asked my clerk, who helps me out with these sorts of things, to contact facilities, and they are going to try to make the jury room cooler to address that concern. In addition, it was brought to my attention that some or all of you may need a letter for your employer indicating that you have actually been selected to serve on the jury in this case, and my assistant is in the process of getting a letter prepared. It'll be prepared for all of you. You'll all get a letter. If you need it, fine. If you don't, then that's fine too, but a letter's being prepared for all of you in the event you need that for one reason or another, and I expect you'll get that by the end of the day today. Ms. Burdick, please call the next witness for the state.
Your Honor, the state will call Amiee Sloat.
Thank you.
Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
And please state and spell your first and last name for Mountain Court Court.
My name is Amiee Noelle Sloat, AMIEE-NOELLE, S as in Sam, LOAT.
Thank you. Ms. Burdick.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Could you please tell the court and the members of the jury your occupation?
I am a crime scene investigator for the Orange County Sheriff's Office.
How long have you worked in that capacity for Orange County?
For Orange County, I've worked for them for 5 years and 2 other agencies for about 3 years.
What sort of training, education, or other background do you have that qualifies you for the position you hold with the Orange County Sheriff?
I have a Bachelor of Science from the University of New Haven in Forensic Science, and then I go through, when I came to Orange County as well as the other agencies, Orange County offers a 16-week training program that we have to go through and pass prior to actually taking calls ourselves and going into the field. And we also do continuing education, 40-hour classes, 8-hour classes.
What are the duties and responsibilities of a crime scene technician with the Orange County Sheriff's Office?
We are asked to respond to scenes by detectives from different entities, robbery, burglary, homicide detectives, and they call us to ask to respond. When we respond, we get the details, we take photographs, and we process for any evidence that we see, like latents or blood spatter or anything like that.
In connection with your employment with the Orange County Sheriff, did you become involved into an investigation regarding the death of Jennifer Fulford?
Yes, I did.
Were you asked to respond to the scene where her body was located on Saturday, September 30th of 2017?
I did.
Was the location of the recovery of her body within the jurisdiction of the Orange County Sheriff?
Yes, it was.
Now, once you arrive at a scene, you said that you will take photographs to document the condition.
Yes, I will.
All right. And did you take photographs of Mrs. Fulford's body prior to it being removed by the medical examiner?
Yes, I did.
Did you also take ground-level photographs of the area where her remains were located?
I did.
Right. If I may approach the witness with what's marked as BH, BI, BJ, BK, BL, BM, BN, BO, and BP for identification. These have already been shown to counsel.
Go ahead.
Look through those items and tell me if you recognize what's shown in the picture.
I do. There are photographs of the scene.
And do they truly and accurately represent the scene as photographed on September 30th, 2017?
They do.
Your Honor, at this point, I would move to introduce the reference lettered exhibits for identification into evidence.
All right, without objection, all of the exhibits referred to by Ms. Burdick marked for identification will be admitted into evidence, consecutively numbered as determined by the clerk, starting with State's Exhibit 31.
BH would be 31. BI would be 32. BJ, 33. BK, 34. BL, 35. BM, 36. BN, 37. BO, 38. And BP, 39.
Permission to publish it?
Granted.
I'll show you first what's been introduced as 31 in evidence. Can you just show us
Can you describe what we're looking at?
This is the dirt road. I'll try to be loud. This is the dirt road on Fenton Street. This is looking westbound towards the end of the dirt road. There's a large structure in the field. You can kind of see the roof of it.
In evidence, is this photograph of the tree line between the dirt road and the field?
Yes, it is.
How would you describe the vegetation there?
The tree line was mostly large branches of trees and a lot of overgrowth, a lot of palms and some brambles.
Showing you 33, is this somewhat of a path into that field from the dirt road?
Yes, in my report, I describe it as a depressed path because the grass was moving in a different direction. It was flattened slightly.
Is 34 showing the same area?
Yes, it is.
So once you move into the field itself, how would you describe the vegetation there? Showing you 35 in evidence.
The field was mostly made up of very tall grass. It came up to over my knees, and there were a lot of vines with thorns on them.
36 in evidence, showing the height of that grass in the area.
Yes,
Now, the vegetation between the dirt road and the field, did that vary in width from the pathways into the field?
yes, it did. It ranged from about 20 feet to 40 feet. I believe it was thicker on the eastern end than the western end, or excuse me, vice versa.
While you were at that location, did you search for items of evidence with the assistance of other crime scene investigators with the Orange County Sheriff?
I did.
All right, and did you locate a white zip tie on the ground away from the body of Jennifer Fulford?
I did.
Showing you 37 in evidence, can you show us where the zip tie is in that photograph? And 38 in evidence, a closer picture of that, correct?
Yes.
And 39 finally. What did you do with that item?
First, I documented it with photographs and then collected it in a sterile envelope. And when I returned to the Orange County Sheriff's Office, I swabbed the entirety for DNA.
I may approach the witness with what's been marked as State's Exhibit S for identification. I've already shown this to counsel.
Go ahead.
You can take a look at the packaging, the exterior, labeling, and tell me if that is an item that you had contact with in the past.
Yes, it is. It has my label and my initials on the evidence seal.
Did you describe on the label what is contained therein?
Yes, one white zip tie from the south edge of the tree line near the west path.
Is this the zip tie that we saw in the photographs?
Yes, it is.
Your Honor, at this point, I would seek to introduce S for identification for evidence.
Without objection, must be marked for identification as States S is admitted into evidence as States Exhibit 40.
Did you take a measurement of the distance between the body of Mrs. Fulford and the location of the zip tie?
I did. It was approximately 19 and a half feet.
Was it, it's hard to tell from the pictures of it on the ground, was it closer to the road or further away from the road?
It was further away from the road. It was on the tree line side closest to the field.
While you were in the field, did you, with the assistance of other crime scene technicians, locate any weapons?
At that time, no, we did not.
What efforts were made on that date to locate a weapon?
We searched the tree lines as well as the dirt road and as much of the field as we could at that time.
Was there an issue with searching the entire field at that point?
At that point, there were 3 CSIs and a couple detectives. We tried our best. We went out as far as we could, but the field was very large and we were losing daylight at that time.
I have no other questions for the witness. Thank you, Your Honor.
Cross-examination?
Miss Sloat, you collected some other items that day as well besides the zip tie, is that right?
Yes, I did.
And ultimately, it wasn't up to you what items were submitted to FDLE or tested for further evidentiary purposes, right?
I collected the items and transferred them to the CSI from the Winter Park Police Department.
And then he made the decisions as to whether they would get tested further, is that right?
Yes, it was his case, so we decided to give them to him, and he could decide because he had other pertinent evidence in the case.
And you didn't find the weapon that day. Did you ever go back to the field?
I went a few days later to take some more measurements, but I never went back again.
Okay, and on the day you went back, you didn't find it either?
I did not.
That was near the beginning of October, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, no further questions.
Redirect?
Ms. Sloat, the other items that counsel referenced that were collected were things like water bottles or Gatorade bottles, something like that, correct?
Yes, there were 3 water bottles and a Nesquik bottle.
All right. Debris that was located in the area near the body?
Yes.
All right. Nothing else, Your Honor.
All right, ma'am, you step down. Ms. Burdick, please call the next witness for the state.
Judge, may we briefly approach?
Yes.
May I have a moment just to confer with counsel since we're...
Oh, sure, sure.
Your Honor, at this time, the state would move what has previously been marked for identification as State's Exhibit BQ into evidence as State's Exhibit 41 by stipulation of the parties.
All right, what's been marked for identification as State's BQ is admitted into evidence as State's Exhibit 41 by stipulation.
Judge, at this time, the state would request that Your Honor read the stipulation and the state be permitted to publish this video.
Pardon? No objection. Oh, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, stipulation, the Assistant State Attorney, Kelly Hicks, and Defendant Scott Edward Nelson, as well as his lawyer, Robert Lahr, stipulate that State Exhibit 41 contains surveillance videos from September 27, 2017, from public store number 662, located at 1400 East Colonial Drive, Orlando, Florida.
Sorry, Judge. Very good. No.
All right, Ms. Hicks, please call the next witness for the state.
We're going to need to approach Judge based on the conversation we just had.
Okay. Counsel approach. All right, Ms. Hicks, please call the next witness for the state.
Yes, the state calls Maria Remos.
Thank you.
Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Ma'am, please state and spell your first and last name for Madam Clerk.
Maria Remos, Mariaramos.
Thank you. Ms. Hicks.
Just 1 second, Your Honor. You got it, okay. Thanks, Bob. Thank you, Judge, I'm ready to proceed.
Go ahead.
Good morning.
Morning.
You stated your name, Ms. Ramos, correct? How are you employed?
When?
How are you employed?
How am I employed? I drive for Lynx. I started in January 9th of 2017.
Okay, so you're a bus driver
Yes, I am.
for the Lynx bus here in Orlando?
Yes,
And I'm sorry, you've been doing that since January of 2017?
yes, correct.
If you can just make sure you speak up so that our jury can all hear you, okay? No, you can pull that microphone closer to you if you had to, okay?
Okay.
Were you working in the capacity of a bus driver for Lynx on September 27th of 2017?
Yes.
Now, how many different bus routes are you familiar with that you can drive?
To be honest with you, I do every single run. I know every single run.
Okay, and there's a lot, right?
Yes, there is.
All right, so do you drive the same route every day, or do you drive different routes on a given day?
Me personally, I do every day is something different. I'm on the extra board.
And so do you recall which bus route you were personally driving on September 27th of 2017?
I was doing run around 28, 29.
Okay. And so I want to talk to you about Route 28. Now, we're using the words route. Does Lynx also use the word link to talk about a route?
That's correct, yes.
So Lynx might call it Link 28,
That's correct.
which would be Route 28,
That's correct.
or Line 28.
Correct.
A lot of different words for the
Yes.
same thing? Okay. So can you tell the jury generally What is the route? Describe the route for us.
Route 28 does the east side. We leave Link Station. It goes on Colonial, and then Cimarron, and then that's the outbound, and then just returning the same way inbound.
And the time schedule for these buses, does it change very often?
I mean, we're supposed to go by the route, but it all depends on the traffic and if there's detours or accidents, but
Let me stop you. I think maybe my question wasn't clear enough. Does Lynx, the bus company, establish a time schedule, a timetable for when the buses are supposed to be at certain places at certain times?
that is correct, yes.
Okay. And are you familiar with that time schedule?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry. I didn't get this. Judge, at this time, the state would move what has previously been marked for identification as State's Exhibit BR into evidence. A business record certification was filed for this.
All right, without objection, it's been marked for identification as States BR as admitted into evidence as States Exhibit 42. Yes.
And I'm going to show you what has been marked for identification as State's Exhibit BS. You could take a look at that. You recognize that?
Yes, I do.
Is that a bus schedule?
Yes, it is.
Is that a bus schedule for Link 28?
That's correct, yes.
And is that the bus schedule that was in place for Link 28 or Route 28 on September 27th of 2017?
Yes.
And at this time, the state would move what has previously been marked for identification as State's Exhibit BS into evidence.
Without objection, what's been marked for identification as States BS is admitted into evidence as States Exhibit 43.
If you could look at the screen in front of you, and we're going to look up at the screen here. Oh, is it all right. So I'm going to talk about kind of this, help us look at this schedule real quick. And so we can see at the top, this is the Link 28 schedule. Now, you said that this Link 28 schedule, it goes, tell us again where it goes, like where's one end of the line, the other end of the line?
Okay. The outbound, which is where it says Link Station.
Why don't you use this right here? You can point at what you're talking about.
Okay.
Great.
For example, leaves Link Station at 4:15. The next time point is 4:24 at Old Fashioned Orlando.
Well, before we get to that, just generally tell us, what is the starting point for this route? Is it Lake Central Station?
On the outbound, yes.
On the outbound?
Correct.
All right. And what is the end of the line on the outbound?
Cimarron Boulevard and Curry Ford.
Okay. And so then when the bus is on the inbound, what is the starting point?
Cimarron Boulevard and Curry Ford.
Okay. And what is the end point of the inbound?
Link Station.
Okay. And so the time points that you noted, that you see numbers on here where it's 1 through 5 and then 5 through 1. I want to kind of focus on the right-hand side where it's 5 and then there's no 4, 3, 2, 1. What do the times indicate that are underneath those particular numbers?
That's where we have to be at. This is the destination. We have to be there at 5:06.
Okay. So somebody who wants to ride the bus should expect that if they are at location number 5 at 4:55 a.m., the bus should be there.
That is correct.
Okay. Now, clearly, these aren't the only bus stops along the route, correct?
Correct.
Sustained.
Are these the only bus stops along the route?
No,
There are others.
there are others.
Are these just specific points in time where you should be?
That's correct.
All right. So looking up at the map at the top there, it looks like you go up to, on Cimarron, if you are on the inbound, meaning you're going from Cimarron, let me just ask my question, okay? You're going from Cimarron to Lynx Central Station, it goes up Cimarron to,
Well, I'm going to overrule the objection because the question wasn't finished.
does this bus go north on Cimarron to Colonial?
That's right.
And then when it gets to Colonial, does it make a left-hand turn on Colonial?
Correct.
And does it make its way down Colonial, ultimately to downtown Orlando? Does the bus make its way down Colonial to downtown Orlando
Correct.
and ultimately end at the Lynx Central Station,
Correct.
which is right across the street here from Orange Avenue, correct?
That's correct.
All right. And this is the bus route that you were driving on September 27th of 2017?
Yes.
Approach.
Yes.
And do you recognize this? I'm showing you what has been marked for identification as State's Exhibit B, T as in Tom. You recognize this?
Yes, that's a bus pass.
It's a bus pass? Okay, and on the, this would be the back of that bus pass?
That's correct.
Now, to be fair, you don't know if you've ever seen this bus pass before, correct?
Correct.
All right. Judge, at this time, the state would move what has previously been marked for identification as State's Exhibit B, T as in Tom into evidence.
Without objection, what's been marked for identification states BT is admitted into evidence as State's Exhibit 44.
Now, ma'am, when somebody gets onto your bus, if they have a bus pass, what do they do with the bus pass in order to gain access to your bus?
They swipe it.
Once they stepped onto the bus?
Exactly.
All right. And looking at what has now been entered into evidence as State's Exhibit 44, looking at the front of this bus pass, and then looking at the back of this bus pass. Are you familiar with the fact that all bus passes have a unique identification number that we see it?
I'll overrule the objection to that question.
Thank you. Are you familiar with the fact that these bus passes have an identification number?
Correct.
Okay? And you see the identification number here on what's been entered into evidence, State's 44?
Correct.
Could you read for us that bus pass number?
It's 954-5098.
Thank you. Now I'm going to publish what's been entered into evidence as State's Exhibit 42. Top of this, it says period past transaction detail report. I know it's a little difficult to read, but I'll hand it to you, ma'am. And hand you what's been entered into evidence as State's Exhibit 42. Can you read the sequence number here on these records? Difficult to read, right?
Yeah, 954-50. I don't have my glasses on, but 5098.
Thank you.
Sorry.
So looking at this record here in State's Exhibit 42, the number that's on this bus pass record and the number that was on the bus pass that was entered into evidence as State's Exhibit 44 are the same, correct?
Correct.
What was the objection? Could you read back the question again, please?
So looking at this record here, it states Exhibit 42, the number that's on this bus pass record and the number that was on the bus pass that was entered into evidence for states Exhibit 44 are the same, correct?
Sustain the objection in the form of the question.
Are these two numbers the same, the number that's on this bus pass?
Okay. And made it props
speaking objection. I'm going to sustain the objection to the form.
All right, looking at this bus pass record here, does this indicate, I see a bus number? Are the buses that you drive, the actual physical bus has a specific number?
Yes,
Okay. And then you see the next column is route. And is that what we were talking about earlier?
that's correct.
Okay, so it might be called route, it might be called lake. That's what that indicates.
Yes,
All right, and you see 28 here,
that's correct.
okay? And that again goes back to this, that was on the bus pass as route 28, goes to what has been entered into evidence, the map as stage 43, correct?
Correct.
Now, when you were driving the bus on Link 28 on the afternoon of September 27th of 2017, let's just kind of put it out there. Do you have any actual personal recollection of that bus ride?
No,
Not anything out of the ordinary happen?
no,
Was it just sort of just another day driving the bus?
yes,
Okay, and then people come and start asking you about it, right?
exactly.
Okay. Do you have any recollection, though, of anything out of the ordinary happening on that bus?
No,
No getting broken down? Say it out loud.
no, no,
Okay, no
sorry.
accidents or anything like that?
That's correct.
Are the buses that you drive equipped with video cameras?
That's correct, yes.
And how many video cameras are on the bus that you were driving that day?
I believe there's 8.
Now, do you personally have any control over these video cameras?
No,
How do they operate?
automatically.
Are they just running all the time?
All the time.
All right. Now, prior to coming into court today, did you have the opportunity to review 2 different videos?
No,
2 different discs?
I saw them today for the first time.
That's what I'm saying. Prior to coming into court today, this morning,
Correct.
you and I met, it's okay, you and I met, and I showed you some videos, correct?
That's correct.
All right. Now, you watched, there's 2 different discs, right?
Yes,
Do the discs contain the same video?
yes,
And is one much longer than the other?
correct.
May I approach her?
Yes.
I'm going to show you what's been marked for identification as State's Exhibit B, V as in Victor. Do you recognize this disc?
Yes,
Prior to coming into court today, you had an opportunity to view this disc.
that's correct.
After you viewed it, did you put your initials on it?
Yes,
Did we see your initials there in the front of this disc?
yes,
Does this disc, BV, and this disc says full on it, correct?
correct.
Does this disc represent the the entirety of your day, it's like almost an hour or so, of a bus ride on Link 28?
Yes,
Okay, because on Link 28, you do the outbound and then you do the inbound, correct?
that's correct.
Okay.
Overrule
And
objection.
does this video fairly and accurately depict your Link 28 on September 27th, 2017?
That's correct.
And at this time, the state would move what has previously been marked for identification as State's Exhibit BV into evidence.
Without objection, what's been marked for ID as States BV is admitted into evidence as States Exhibit 45.
And I'm also going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit BU. And did you also have an opportunity to watch this disc?
Yes,
And you put your initials on it?
correct.
And this disc does not say the word full on it, right?
Right.
All right. And so what's on this disc, did you have the opportunity to compare what's on this disc to what's on the longer version?
Yes,
All right. And is this the same cameras and the same video, only it's just sort of a redacted portion of the bus ride?
yes,
All right. At this time, the state will move what has previously been marked for identification as BU into evidence?
That objection states BU is admitted into evidence as states Exhibit 46.
For the purposes of the record, the state is going to briefly publish State's Exhibit 45, which is the longer version. And then we'll go to the other. Does this, State's Exhibit 45, does this show the 8 different camera angles that are running on your bus on link 28 on September 27th?
Yes.
And now it's a little difficult to see because it's a little darkened in the courtroom, but if you can see it better, the video in the middle on the left, that's you, right? That's the bus driver?
Yes, that's me.
Okay, it's a little difficult. So you can actually take your pointer and just point
I see it on this one better.
Okay. So the bottom button, yeah, the bottom button there. That video would be you, correct?
That's correct.
All right. And so we can see, would you agree that these are, we can see outside the bus, we can see inside the bus, correct?
That's correct.
All right. Now, if we can take that one out, please. I'm going to publish what's been entered into evidence as State's Exhibit 46. Now, if we can just pause it for a second, please. Ma'am, if you can tell us, these are 2 of the cameras that we just saw from the 8 cameras, correct?
Correct.
Overruled.
And these are portions of the video that we just watched, correct?
Correct.
All right. So if you can please tell us, this is a bus stop, is this a bus stop along Route 28?
Yes, it is.
All right. And if you could please tell us exactly where this bus stop is located?
That's on Colonial.
Where exactly on Colonial?
Across from Publix, I believe it's before. It's right across from Publix. It's across.
Now, this bus stop where he's getting on is, where these people are getting on, is this on the same side of Colonial as the Publix, or is it on the opposite side?
It's on the opposite side.
I'm going to show you what's been entered into evidence as State's Exhibit 25. I'm sorry, you're going to have to switch. So this picture's been entered into evidence as State's Exhibit 25. And you recognize this as the area that we're talking about?
That's correct, yes.
Can you please, using the pointer, if you can please show the jury where the bus stop is that we see in this video? Okay? Right over there across the street, we see like an auto parts store or something?
Correct.
Thank you. Go back to the video. So when this video begins, what has been entered into evidence as State's Exhibit 46. We see people getting on the bus, and when they're getting on the bus, that's at that location you just showed us.
That's correct.
Okay? And if we can play the video, please. Now, this video is approximately 13 minutes and 11 seconds. You had an opportunity to watch it before coming in, correct?
Correct.
Is what we're seeing here what we would see if we sat here and watched it for 13 minutes and 11 seconds?
Yes.
All right, so you please just kind of fast forward to about a minute before the end. Can you please tell the jury where you saw the passenger with the UCF hat on in that video?
Yes.
Okay, and did you see him get on the bus at the across the street from the Publix where you indicated?
That's correct.
All right, and going back to Exhibit 42, looking at this, did he board the bus according to this exhibit at 3:40 in the afternoon
That's correct.
on September 27th, 2017?
Correct.
Please tell us where he got off the bus. The man in the UCF hat, where did he get off the bus?
He got off at the Link station.
So the Link Central Station down
That's
in
right.
downtown Orlando.
That's correct.
And that would be at the end of the line here on our map of Link 28?
That's correct.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Cross-examination? All right, ma'am, you can step down, thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, just a moment, we're going to take a brief recess. During the recess, you are going to leave your notepads and your pens here. During the recess, you remain under all the court's instructions, including but not limited to the instruction not to discuss this case amongst yourselves or with anyone else. Please follow the deputy in the jury room. We'll bring you back as quickly as we can. Thank you. All right, we'll be in a brief recess.